Good day, welcome to another Camp Savvy video. Today we'll be discussing the portable braai I settled on when going camping. Sometimes when you arrive at a campsite they either don't have braais available or they've got built-in braais which is not in a convenient place, and in that case it's very useful to have a portable braai. Now when I started searching for portable braais I found a surprisingly number of them available, each with its own benefits and own shortcomings, and it wasn't an easy choice at the end of the day. So I set up a list of criteria. The first and one of the most important for me was that I needed a braai that was easy to assemble, easy to clean. It needed to be height adjustable. In other words, I do not want a braai that is yay big, which I need to put onto a table to be able to stand and braai, or whether I've got to sit down and braai on the ground because it's so small and low and compact, or that I have to bend down every time I need to turn over the meat. So I needed something that I could put together that I can comfortably stand and braai. It also needed to be small enough that I can easily pack it or easily fit it under the bed in the caravan. And then very important, I wanted something where the grid is height adjustable. I find it uncomfortable to braai at a particular heat all the time where the grid can't be lowered or raised to alter the heat on the meat itself. So criteria wasn't a lot, but it wasn't easy finding something that fit all of those criteria. Ultimately I settled on the Hotrods Cookout BBQ. So packed up, it comes in its own bag. It's about the size of a Kodak Scottles car, for those of you that own one of those, maybe diameter slightly smaller. Let's see what's inside this bag and then how to assemble the braai and how it works. So it comes with a foot plate, the grid, as well as a grid that fits inside the braai itself so that your coals are lifted off the bottom and you can get airflow underneath your coals, which I think is important. The unit that allows you to set the height of your braai, and then lastly the pan of the braai. I still keep mine in the original packaging that it came with. It just makes it easier to transport and so that it doesn't damage when driving on corrugated roads. So there's the pan, nice and deep. Within the pan goes the coal grid, so your coals or your wood goes on top of that so you can get airflow from underneath. The assembling of the braai, it'll actually screw these two units into each other. This then screws onto the foot stand. Take the pan, fit that over. There we go. And then the grid. Adjusting the grid is very easy. So it's got a lever at the bottom which allows you to adjust the grid at 5 different heights. So this just spring adjusted, so that's the grid at its highest, and I can adjust it up and down to 5 different levels. and I can also swivel the grid, which is sometimes useful depending on where the hottest area of your fire is. So I'm going to stand up now, so this is going to cut me off, but it will give you an idea of the height that I can braai. This is a very comfortable height to braai at. And also, if you're really lazy, what you can do is assemble it in such a way that you can sit and braai. Right, now I can have my beer and I can literally sit and braai at this height, which I think is a nice touch. Sometimes that's just what you want to do. Well, there we go. The Hotrods Cookout BBQ. I'll put some links on the channel and on the blog to where you can order this from. Mine I ordered via Tentco in Boksburg. They do order directly from the supplier. They typically don't keep them in stock. So if you do go to Tentco, you'd have to ask them to order the Hotrods Cookout BBQ for you, because you're not going to see it on the shelf. That's unfortunate. You can order directly from the vendor as far as I know, and they'll be able to ship, but I will put the links on where you can get this from. I find it, as I said, I find it very easy to clean because it's coated. It's not a problem at all to clean. The grid itself is quite easy to clean as well. Yeah, all in all, I think this fits all the criteria that I set for the braai I wanted, and I do find it more practical than some of the smaller units, although they're very compact and easy to assemble. Height, this can just adjust in height, and to me, and the fact that the grid can adjust in height, that to me was very important. Here is a view of the braai set at full height, with the grid fairly low. The adjustable knob on the side can be clearly seen. Here we've got the braai set up at half height, with the grid fully extended at full height. That concludes this review. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and to my blog, and until next time, keep on braaiing and keep on camping.